Hello, I'm Zach.
I'm Zubair.
And welcome again to Harmony.
Welcome back.
It's been a while since we've read from this book.
So let's continue.
Exactly. So we are in Said Nursi's The Words from the Risale Nur collection, still in the first word.
Yeah.
About more than half done. We'll start from page 16. In the middle of the middle paragraph.
Middle.
Because the English paragraphs are arranged differently than the Turkish. So we're following the Turkish order, since it's the original text. And to find it, so if we turn to page 16, the sentence that begins with the person who acts saying. So, from there, the person who acts saying, in the name of God, resembles someone who enrolls in the army. He acts in the name of the government. He has fear of no one. He speaks, performs every matter, and withstands everything in the name of the law and the name of the government.
Okay.
Here the author brings in the name of God, again with being in the military. So to understand what it means to say or to act saying Bismillah in the name of God, we have to understand what it means to enroll in the army.
Yep. You haven't been there, right?
No.
Okay.
Have you?
Yep.
What does it mean for you to enroll in the army? What do you understand from that?
Well, it's kind of difficult thing. Probably the first thing that you need to understand about the military or being in an army is you cannot do on your own, right? You cannot decide for yourself. Someone else, the higher authority in the military, decides on behalf of you. He is going to decide what to do next, where to sleep, what to eat, when to eat, what to do and when, all kind of things. So this is the first thing you cannot do on your own. And when you do something, you supposedly do something that you cannot probably do when you were on your own. For example, you operate a tank. In your private lifetime, you cannot own a tank, probably, right?
Yes.
And you just shoot a target which is miles, thousands of miles away from your point, hit it with a cannon or highly,
sophisticated machinery
that you cannot even imagine with a push of a button.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there.
Okay.
Because there are two parts.
Well, I was really going good.
It's going good. But there's two parts to the example that the author is giving here.
Okay.
One is enrolling in the army. The other is acting in the name of the government while in the army.
So, what do you mean?
You were describing acting in the army, not enrolling in the army. So you're
what is the difference?
That's the thing. So I want you to, since you've done it, I haven't done it, you did a good job explaining what it means to act in the army. Acting in the name of the government. That's good. But what about enrolling in the army in the first place?
You just go there and leave yourself to them.
Why would one do such a thing?
Because it's government. If you cannot do otherwise.
Okay, but why would let's imagine, yes, in Turkish culture, enrolling in the army might be compulsory.
Yep.
But at the same time, there's non-compulsory service. So imagine somebody going to enroll in the army out of his own free will.
Okay.
Why would somebody do that?
Well, you mean government didn't invite him?
The invitation is open. If he wants to, he can come in.
Free will. Okay.
Yeah, it's free will.
I choose to go.
Yes.
I did. Now I'm in the military. But how I do it?
Why would you enroll in the first place?
Why would you? Because I accept it as an authority.
Okay, good. So we accept it as an authority.
So I enroll in it. I become a part of it.
Good. Why would you accept it as an authority? What qualities did it need to have?
Well, it can govern everything.
Okay.
Within the boundaries of the government.
So it has an authority over all of the areas in which I will act.
You know, the military is just a part of the government itself, a sub-authority, let's say. So I accept the government itself, the state, as the higher authority. So I accept it. So I choose to be a part of the military itself.
Good. So the first thing one needs to see then, in order to enroll into the army, in order to start the process of Bismillah, is to see that universal authority over everything.
Yep.
Without seeing that, enrolling in the army doesn't
mean anything.
Exactly. So once
it's not really enrolling.
Exactly. Yes, even if he's in the army, it's not that important for him. The example wouldn't be understood.
Yeah.
So it has to have a universal authority over everything in which I will be involved.
Again?
It
has to be...
It has to have universal authority, the government.
Yeah, government.
That in every area in which I will be involved.
Okay.
If it doesn't, then I wouldn't enroll in the first place out of my own free will.
Yep.
So, that's the first part. So
that explains someone who enrolls in the army.
Good. Then your example at the beginning talked more about what it meant to be in the army and act in the army. We can give a quick summary again, just maybe one example to refresh our minds. What was...
Well, we have a tank. I cannot own it on my own. I cannot afford it. I cannot operate it. I cannot even put fuel into its tank. You know, it's kind of different thing. But in the military, I can operate a tank. I can just use it for some purposes. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Imagine you're just pressing a button to fire a cannon or a shell, but you didn't decide where the coordinates were. Somebody else, another soldier, is saying use these coordinates.
Yeah. If use this bullet, big bullet, use this coordinate, use this tank, use this fuel, etc.
Exactly. Let's not go in deeper with that because it will become more clear in the next paragraph.
Okay.
But just to see the relationship, everybody is working under that same authority. They've accepted the same authority. And so now all I have to do is push the button and not worry about where the shell actually is going. Somebody else is worrying about that, unless it is my job to worry about it.
Yeah. So if I say in my private life, I just have a cannon, I just have a tank and then just bomb everywhere, nobody would believe me. Right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. But in the military session, I can say I am operating a tank on behalf of the government or the the army, and I just hit some targets. Which targets? I don't know. Somebody else take care of it.
Yes. Good. Okay. So let's continue. The next paragraph. At the beginning, we said that all beings say in the name of God through the tongue of disposition. Is that so? The answer, indeed it is so.
Really?
Then the author is going to continue. If you were to see that a single person had come and had driven all the inhabitants of a town to a place by force and compelled them to work, you would be certain that he had not acted in his own name and through his own power, but was a soldier acting in the name of the government and relying on the power of the king.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to explain.
Exactly. Yes. So basically, what we talked about is now again reasserted here in this paragraph.
Yep.
So let's give a quick summary, and then I think we can end it. A single person had come and driven all the inhabitants of a town to a place by force and compelled them to work.
Yeah. So what's interesting about it? He must be a soldier.
How can a soldier do that? One single soldier coming to Istanbul, huge city, or New York, or whatever, and actually has control over the people there. 20 million people very easily could kill this soldier.
Even by blowing on his face.
If they all blew at the same time, yes. In the end, he should have no power.
So, or the power who drives everyone into the the square of the town is not his own power.
Exactly. Now he should be afraid.
Yep.
Because he's in an area with 20 million enemies.
Oops.
Why is he not afraid?
Because he relies on the army.
Good.
And the government.
Okay, so let's think of this. Let's put this into real life examples. If we're in Turkey right now, or if somebody is in the United States, whichever country, within the borders of his own country, he can feel safe to be a soldier going to a city and saying, hey, I want you to do this. I want you to work and do something. And they will say, okay, because within those boundaries, the authority is right there. It's very clear.
Yep.
But what about going to another country as a representative? You gave an example before we talked on this program. You're an imaginary Turkish soldier going to England with a Turkish flag in your hand, trying to do something. It's stupid.
Kind of.
I mean, how could you do something like that?
If my military is going to send me to there, That's his problem.
Okay, but wouldn't you be afraid of...
Yeah, my government, my military probably won't send me alone, so he's going to take care of the all necessary things, so I will be safe then there too.
So you're saying that the
boundaries of the government will expand in that situation.
So if the government is going to send you to another country, then it means that the government's authority is, in essence, expanding into that
in definition.
Country. Yep, that other country.
Yep. So you don't have to be afraid.
So if one doesn't have that understanding of that universal encompassing government's authority, then he would be afraid.
He's going to be afraid wherever he is.
So the thing is to realize that the authority of one's government is actually a universal authority. Now, since Turkish government isn't universal, its authority is not universal, since America's government's authority is not universal, no country's government's authority is universal or encompassing, then we can't find that example in this world. We can only see that if this were the case, I would choose this government to enroll in.
Unless you're God.
Unless you have
the authority of God.
Exactly. So the authority has to be in that one's hand, God's hand, our definition of God. Otherwise, for us as humans, it's actually, I'm sorry to say it, but stupid to act in the authority of a worldly government because their authority doesn't expand past its boundaries.
Yep.
So
that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
So next program.
Then I think it's a good time to end. Hopefully we'll get comments, questions, and concerns. Thank you very much for joining us. Please leave your comments, questions, and concerns below. Hope to see you next time.
See you next time.